Good morning, YouTubers. So, little update, huh? I'm having decaf coffee with you guys this morning. I'm out of my dandelion coffee for a couple of days. It should be at the post office like today, but with the car issues, I can't go get it yet. So, I've been asked how you guys can help. Why did I make the decisions I made? Somebody said, "What's wrong with you? Why did you sell the trailer?" You know, stuff like that. So let's see if I can answer a few questions. And just now that I've got a cup of coffee, Ozzy's having his milk bone, we've had a good night's sleep, and I brushed my hair, combed my hair. So I want to keep this kind of short. So let's start with, I went off this summer. I left in April, had my last few appointments up in Flagstaff and camped in the snow, and then came back the 1st of September-ish to the property. It was still a little hot. The weather just changed this past week, and now it's very comfortable. It's the most lovely time of year in the spring and in the fall around September, October. It's just fabulous here. And so we're in really great weather. Weather time is really great right now. So let's see. So while I was gone, I realized some things. One, I was happier than I've been in ages. And so, but along the way, I realized some things about, I wanted my home with me. And I knew that the trailer that was here on this property was not roadworthy. And it kind of was like a weight pulling me down, because I had the responsibility to keep it maintained even when I wasn't here using it. And so I had to save money to put, it cost money to keep things running and to have, heat for the winter, even though I didn't even want to be here in the winter. So my dog Ozzy is getting older. He is 13 and he is 12 and a half years old. And so as old as he is, he's starting to get a little grumpy, and he needs to be protected. He can't kill rats like he used to. And he doesn't always get along with other dogs really well anyway. So, and he has a heart problem. So I have a responsibility to take good care of him while he's with me, while he's still around and alive. So with those couple of responsibilities, and with the health issues that I have had, and the discomfort I had I was very grateful that a neighbor let me stay with them when I was hurt and had to use a walker for 3 months. That was hard as crap. But I don't like to be in other people's spaces that well. I don't trust people well, and I don't feel like I get along well with other people. Well, I do, but I'm aware that it's better when we have our own stuff and space and can take care of ourselves. And yes, I needed help, but I can imagine a better way of having help if I was to be hurt like that again. And my better way would be if my home could be moved. It could be parked in someone's driveway. I could go to a local RV park and pay a minimal amount to stay in an RV park if I was hurt, and then I could get closer to services or help or something. And I could take my home with me, and then both Ozzy and I would not have to keep readjusting so much to things. So those were some of the thoughts. And then I'd had someone, not, I had had a couple of people ask me about that trailer. And if I ever was interested in selling it, wouldn't I call them? And so late in the summer, probably in August, I contacted one of them and said, I'm starting to think about it. Do you want to have a conversation? And so when I first got back, they said, yeah, absolutely. So we had a conversation and I sold the trailer, and it went so smooth and quickly. And at that point in time, the plan was that I was going to continue to live out of my SUV with the tailveil tent the way I did over the summer. And I would just do it here on my property. I would park the car inside the yard fence and put the tent on the back of it. And when I needed to go to town, I would run to town and, put the tent down and run to town. But we would be fine because I have my outdoor kitchen. And then I wanted to be gone for cold weather. And I didn't expect to be here very, very many weeks. And then to be able to go help some other people. I would put a few more things in the car. When I left New Mexico, I got a really good deal on a rooftop cargo box, and so we put that up there so that I had space to take some more things with me. One thing, I wanted my tools with me, and my little mini chainsaw would have come in handy in Colorado where it was okay to gather wood for campfires and stuff. That would have been real helpful a couple of times. Anyway, so the plan was that this week, the big Nomad trailer would be going about a mile down the road. One of my friends bought property a mile from me, and they bought it, paid for it, and then I ran down to Phoenix to look at a 13-foot fiberglass trailer, because that's what I was thinking I wanted to do, was go with a small, like, fiberglass trailer that I could tow behind my current vehicle. And I knew, I've never been in love with this vehicle, but I knew that this vehicle, one, it's a V8 engine, and it could tow just about anything I wanted to tow behind it. I don't like to tow big things. And I've had a 13-foot Scamp before. I had renovated one the year that I got Aussie. I traveled around with Al Christensen at that time, and Lou Bruschetti. Anyway, so I went down to Phoenix to look at one, and I was proud of me for turning out. It was more work than I really wanted to invest in something right now. Had it been just a little bit better shape, there were two big issues with it that I wasn't willing to work with today. Not that I'm not capable, just I didn't want to. It's a lot of work. And so anyway, so I left Phoenix without it and came home. Well, I had the oil changed on the 3rd this month on payday. And prior to that, my SUV had been using a quart of oil every 3 months. And when I had the oil changed on the 3rd, it just started drinking oil. So in 5 days, it went through a quart of oil. And I was down in Phoenix, and I was like, maybe I better have somebody look at that. And so I had already turned down the trailer, and the big trailer had already been sold, but hadn't been moved yet. And so I stopped at a shop down there, and because I also had like a clunk in the front end, and I was like, I'd had it worked on, so I went to it was Big O Tires in Show Low that had worked on it, and I was in Phoenix, so I went to Big O and said, will you check, there's a clunk in the front end, and I had work done, and it's still under warranty for that job, so would you check that? And while you're at it, seems like I'm dripping oil more than I used to be, so will you look at that too? And so they did. And they tightened something on the front end. Somebody tightened something on the front end, and it was better, no more clunk. But the guy said, when you get back home, you need to have your mechanic look at your engine and make sure you have plenty of oil in there. He says, I just topped it off. And I went, what? And he said, just have your mechanic check it. So I come back home, and then I go to Show Low to run an errand. Actually, I was going to Snowflake to have Ozzy groomed, and I needed to do a couple other errands and run to Walmart and stuff down at Show Low. So I went ahead and went to the Big O that has been my mechanics for a while, and they put it up on the lift, and they came and got me, and they went, that leak's bad. And then we started talking repair costs and whether it was worth it or not. And it's worth it for somebody, but I don't have $1,000 to put into it a repair on a vehicle. So, and it would be the start of the kind of repairs that you would have to continue to do things. So, yeah, not putting that into this car. And anyway, so I go home, and you know, they had topped off the oil. They said, just watch the oil and don't drive it very much. So that's where I have been at. So then, you know, then the stuff that runs through my mind at that point, and probably yours at that point, is, what am I going to do? Because I was going to sleep in the car. So now what am I going to do? Because I need a place to sleep. I need a way to get around. And let me not jump to getting too excited, but what am I going to do? So I slept on it a night and had some, not anxiety, but had some, like, questions, like, what the crap have I done? So I called a few friends, discussed it all with them, and then after I slept on it the next morning, again, a couple of phone calls from friends. One of them, Jen, loaned me her Range Runner from Runaway, which is a square drop, teardrop trailer, to sleep in for a temporary situation and only on my property. It doesn't belong to me. It's not going down the road behind my car. That is not safe. It is not my thing. So, and things that don't belong to me, we be very careful with, because I can't replace it. Anyways, so she's loaned me a trailer to sleep in, and that took care of the, how am I going to maneuver this transition that was unexpected. Now, so you know, I didn't get a lot of money for the other trailer. The other trailer was not a finished project, and it was not in great shape. It's not roadworthy. So the majority of that money became my emergency fund again, because Murphy has visited plenty of times since the big white tent that I bought years ago. That I took my emergency money to buy that tent, and that was a mistake. So now I have my emergency fund back. All my friends are encouraging me not to touch that money unless absolutely necessary. So that money doesn't even exist in my mind. It's just a little emergency fund in the back. So now back to what's happening now. So with that change of now my tow vehicle's no good to me, then another friend, Dave, has parked his, he left a pickup truck on my property, and he's coming back in about a week, and I already talked to him. He said that he would make the little repairs to that, and that I could use that truck in the interim while we're figuring out what's going on. So basically, the situation is kind of taken care of. Now, there's, you know, glitchy days in between, but not bad. I've got plenty of food here. I've got plenty of water here. My new neighbor, that friend, is now the closest neighbor to me that I've ever had. They brought property little over a mile from me. So if I really needed something, a mile walk is nothing. You know, so... but that person is close for at least for about 3 weeks. So I had already, prior to this stuff happening, I had already scheduled an appointment with my medical doctor to check in, because you know, I've lost 100 pounds and my health is better, and just to double check in on that. And then I also checked, have an appointment to see my case manager, um, um, the the for my mental health people. So I don't really have a therapist right now, but I still have a case manager that helps, that I check in with just in case I need help with anything. But I seem to be handling this very well. I think that the healthy trauma work that I did prior to April, over the winter, I think it has helped me tremendously, because I know, like, this situation, I'm resourceful and I'm resilient and I'll get through this. You know, this is it's just a little oops, and maybe God's got some plan for something I don't know about yet. And maybe I have this story I tell when I'm helping other people about how, your favorite uncle's taken you as a little child to go get ice cream, and your favorite ice cream is vanilla or chocolate or something. But that's all you know about. You're so excited to go get vanilla ice cream. Okay. But you don't know about other flavors. And the uncle is like, oh, it's time to introduce black raspberry, which happens to be my favorite. And I can't even eat ice cream, right? But I'm allergic to milk. But anyway, so you're so focused on vanilla, and the uncle's trying to introduce you to black raspberry or pistachio or rocky road or something. Well, it's sort of like that sometimes when we're looking at our life situations, and we think that what we need is vanilla and it's going to be the best for us, but we don't know another option. And sometimes, God, or well, I talk in God terms, people. Anyways, so sometimes God is trying to give us a different flavor and introduce us to something new. Well, maybe that's happening in this case. I was thinking one way, maybe there's something better for me. So, tow vehicle's gonna go. Because of my doctor's appointments both being on, or my 2 appointments both being on Tuesday, I'm planning to have the cargo rack off the top of the car cleaned out and ready to go. On Tuesday, I will top off the oil. I will take it down to St. John's and put it in the U-Cell spot between the El Cupido's restaurant and the Dollar General, and put a for sale sign in it, and we will work on getting that sold, because I can't buy anything without the money from that rig. At the same time, today's project is I'm working on my HAWA applications. HAWA is the Homes on Wheels Alliance. They're friends of mine, and in October in Pahrump, they're doing some free low-income medical care things, as well as assisting a number of people with, they have two tow trailers to award to a needy person, and they also have a couple of minivans that they will build out with custom builds for minivan campers for people. So I'm putting in my applications for those as well, because I qualify, and I'm part of the nomadic community as well as part of the Witchwell St. John's community. And so I am putting in those applications as well. And we'll see how it develops, because nearly every day right now there's little things that change, but not major. I need to make sure that all the stuff that I took out of the trailer I put in plastic tubs so that they could be outside in the weather. I need to make sure they're all protected enough just in case a rain shower comes through over the weekend. And what else? That's basically it. So hopefully that answers some of your questions. Hannah Lore, thank you on Facebook for asking. I people, and not only Hannelore, but other people are asking me, what do I need? How can we help you? And I don't know right now. Prayers are always good. It works. Good thoughts. Sure, I could use money, but I'm not gonna e-beg, and I don't know exactly what I want right now. I still think that the idea of an SUV tow vehicle and a small trailer seems to be an idea that works well for me. But after the trip to Phoenix and the mountain climbing and stuff like that, with the vehicles, will I have anxiety, or will I just work my way out of the old anxiety, towing again? I don't know. Is something better for me? I don't know. I just want to be able to take my stuff and go and keep my minimalist life. And I want to be able to come home and be comfortable here as well. And I'm doing pretty good. I have, finally some of the things that work better for Lesa, because, having an allergy to propane's odd as well. And so I have my denatured alcohol stoves and things like that. But hopefully, this is a long video, people. I'm going to let you all go, but I don't know how you can help right now. I'm kind of okay. I guess it will be a little adventure that we'll try to watch together. And maybe this will give me more focus for, doing a little more. I'm not sure. But you guys have a wonderful day, and keep it simple, because I'm trying to.